good to see such a mixture of old faces, new faces, young faces, all that. And I'd like to welcome you to, I think it's the third, Matthew, where is our statistical person? Third annual members meeting, which those of us at SIANI find as an incredibly important source of both ground checking, making sure we're on the right track, and inspiration for future activities. Our main reason for existing is to serve our membership. So obviously we like to meet you and hear what you have to say. Today we have a lot of presentations, but we also have time for something we do, which we call the roundtable dialogue. That's why you're sitting at these round tables. And why you've been grouped so that you should be a fair mix of backgrounds and experiences and interests and things like that. We also are very lucky to be doing this on a day when two major international policy processes have come to some sort of, well, I wouldn't say conclusion, but have anyway made a milestone, and those are the COP and the climate agreement and the Sustainable Development Goals that are pushed by the UN to replace the Millennium Development Goals, and which include the entire world. Okay. Our day is basically, this morning we'll have some presentations of the activities and of both SIANI and the themes which we have since 2 years back, I believe. And we will have a presentation on a toolbox for monitoring the Sustainable Development Goal 2, which is ending hunger, which I think anyone who's interested in nutrition, agriculture, food security, etc., might have an interest in. The roundtable dialogues will be facilitated. There should be a person at each table. And we'll have a nice lunch. And then we'll come back and report from the roundtables. Even if what the reporting is very brief, the people that are at your tables from SIANI will be getting more detailed information, so we'll have lots of input. So please participate actively in these so that we get a lot of input this year. And then we'll have some afternoon presentations, and we'll look forward to this year's activities and beyond in the afternoon. And with that, I am very, very happy to welcome you all. Warm welcome, cold Stockholm, and turn the podium over to the first presenter, Matthew Fielding, who will give us a brief overview of what SIANI has done in 2015.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so a very warm welcome to everybody. It's very nice to be here. I'm going to talk about what's happened in the past year of SIANI, reporting back a little bit from the various activities we've had over the year, and bring us right up to date. So this time last year, in a room very similar to this one, 68 people met and developed some targets for the year. Some of those targets were to look at the SDGs, soils, nutrition, and you even set some targets for SIANI ourselves as well. So going through them and looking at the SDGs, what happened, the consensus in the room was that food waste and losses was going to be a very important issue for the coming year. And in response to that, SIANI produced a bite-sized summary of the CFS report, food waste and production. We also agreed to start an expert group looking at food waste prevention for global food chains. Our senior advisor, Melinda, was invited to moderate a roundtable discussion at Cornell University, and we organised an event to celebrate World Food Day as well. In addition to that, at Almedalen this year we organised a seminar looking at water losses on the banana production chain along with seaweed. And something interesting in the last year of SIANI is I'll be pointing out at several points who we have sitting on our panels in events, and I think that's something that's really interesting and something that's developed over the past year. So in this panel that was moderated by Fair Trade, we had representatives from ICA, We Effect, and politicians from the Centre and Moderaterna party there. Also, on the theme of the coming of the SDGs, we organised a seminar at World Water Week, looking at landscape approaches for sustainable development, water and land resource management. That was in partnership with SIWI, SLU Global, SEI and the Swedish Waterhouse. There were 3 events actually at World Water Week, one looking at water for food security and nutrition, one with looking at landscape approaches for sustainable development and land resource management, and then also something that was very much Madeline's initiative, going to visit a pea poo factory. I'm not sure we want to know what that is so early in the morning. And also then, lastly, on this coming of the SDGs theme, we organised, there was a seminar at the Global Landscapes Forum, how to ensure responsible practices along agricultural supply chains. That was with Focali and Fair Trade as well. So then looking at soils, the task was raise the profile of soil sustainability. As you know, 2015 was the International Year of Soils. So one of the activities we both presented and blogged from the International Soil Conference in Thailand. Also at Almedalen, we presented a seminar entitled 50 Shades of Green. And in that one had participation from V Skogen, Max Hamburgers, Mellanskog, SLU Global, and DGs from CEDA and SEI were there as well. We also organised a seminar with KSLR and the Swedish FAO Committee on World Soil Day, which looked at the impact different soil activities had on regional, national and global level policy making. And we also organised a public event in central Malmö called SOS Save Our Soils. And again, on the panel of this event had the Swedish Board of Agriculture, V Agroforestry, Findus, Region Skåne, and Lund University as well. So, on to nutrition. The task was to focus on new and nutritious crops. And in response to this, we supported an event focused on water for food security and nutrition, which was organised in partnership with IMWI, SIWI, CGIAR, CEDA, FAO, and the Swedish Ministry of Enterprise and Innovation. We also presented at the World Forest Congress on linkages between fuel production and nutrition. And nutrition has also been a focus of 2 expert groups, one on urban agriculture and urban animals. We were also tasked to look at gender in nutrition, and unfortunately this is one area where we'll be entirely transparent. We've really not had any time to look at that. However, continuing on the nutrition theme, we both looked at sustainable and nutritious diets in different cultures, both in blogged about a book that was released by Jamila Haider, In Our Hands, which is a kind of like an ethnographic study of recipes from the highlands of what country? Tajikistan and Afghanistan. A cookbook that was actually taken from part of an ethnographic study and then formed into a book, which was then taken back to the area and distributed. It's very, very interesting. And then also we blogged about animal-borne diseases, Double Trouble for Health and Nutrition, which you can find on the SIANI website. And tasks for SIANI was to actually have a little focus on Sweden, and to do that we've organised events in Malmö, Lund, Umeå, Gothenburg and Uppsala, in addition to Stockholm. And to promote collaboration between Swedish agencies for the PGU. And this is more of an ongoing aim that SIANI has, to actively find synergies and look to engage between different sectors within Sweden and with Swedish connected organisations. In addition to that, we were tasked to stimulate youth engagement, which we've done, and then some. We've formed a new page on our website, which is focused on both for youth, but also on the topic of youth within SIANI. as has become a bit of a habit now, we were at CFS in Rome earlier in the year. Again, participating in international conferences, which this is an example of, which we then bring back, and it informs some of the events that we organise within Sweden. And then at the same time, bringing forward learning and knowledge from Sweden, which we've very much done in the form of this Agri4D conference, which was organised by many partners here in the room. Certainly my takeaway message was that methane emissions from cows actually is 98% in the form of burps, not farts. So that was my big takeaway message from that event. But of course we don't. So we have the events, but also we've started to look at who's actually attending the events. And in this meeting last year, the gender split of people attending was 59-39 between men and women. We also looked at the feedback of the quality of the events. As you can see here, 51% felt it was good, 45% felt it was excellent, and then a few others there. So hopefully we can do something similar this year. And then we also break it down towards the sector as well, and who is attending these meetings. And that's also something very important to know. We don't only want to be speaking to the same sectors every time. So here you can see academia makes up a large segment here, but also representatives from the private sector, government, NGOs are all very important in our work. And so it's not only for the annual meeting, but we also did a similar analysis for a lot of our different events. Here is just the different sectors that people came from to 4 of the meetings last year, all of which will be featured in our annual reporting that we'll be releasing shortly. In terms of publications, we managed to when I say we, of course, it's not only the SIANI Secretariat, but it's also the members, and it's the co-organisers and the supporting institutions that are part of that network. So we, the network, released 8 policy briefs, 10 blogs, and 4 Q&A interviews, aside from these events. And also had some changes going with our expert groups. Here you'll see at the start of last year, this was the current layout of expert groups. And so under the year, 5 of them have concluded their activities, and you can find summary reports and presentations and other related information on our website. And we also got up and running in 4 new expert groups as well, which will be now running until the end of the current period of SIANI in August this year. 2 of them have been continuing, have been given non-cost extensions by SIANI. So we also continue to support the work of our themes, of which you will be hearing more from 2 of the themes representatives straight after this, so I won't go into those. However, I just wanted to acknowledge that the themes are a very important part of SIANI's work ongoing. So now to give you some facts and figures, and I think you can always be a little bit skeptical when you see, social media figures and website figures as well, because they don't really look at who's actually engaging with your website. But, if you assume that more is better, that's fair enough, I think. And as with SIANI, we've shown that here's some demographic breakdown of our information. You see that our people that are looking at our content peaks between the 25 to 34-year-old bracket, but also in the 45 to 54-year-old bracket as well. I'm not sure what happened with the 35 to 44. Hands up if you're between 35 and 44 in the room. Okay. Hands up if you're between 45 and 54 in the room. And then hands up if you're between 25 and 34 in the room. I think this is kind of borne out by the by the people in the room. Okay, very interesting. So we average around 3,305 visitors per month, and that has been increasing year on year. Just some statistics on, again, with all these things, you have to think of, in terms of impact, the more people you connect with, the better. But numbers don't really indicate, again, impact. They're just figures. But it's nice to see that all our numbers are increasing, especially the members. this is members of the SIANI website, which has increased by 368 over the past year. This is something significant because, as you all know, well, at least I hope you all know, to sign up to be a member of SIANI, you actually have to type in your name and your address and choose your sector you work in and things like that. So that involves some time rather than just clicking a button. So that's nice that we've boosted our membership by so many over the past year. And also last year, those of you that were here, we received visitors from all over the world to our website. And so many, in fact, that last year only 4 countries were not represented on our global map of SIANI world information dissemination. Turkmenistan, Mauritania, Western Sahara, and Gabon. So I'll put you out of your misery now. Did we get Gabon? We got Gabon. We managed to get some people looking on the SIANI website from Gabon, incredibly so. However, you know, as it happens, you know, other countries. It's the little. It's Gabon. Yeah. So unfortunately, we've lost Central African Republic in the past year. So that's a goal for next year, is to try and get our outreach going in Central African Republic. And North Korea as well. So we didn't get that as well. So yeah, so that's the question. But on a more serious note, looking at our website hits that we've had over the past 3 years, these are the raw facts. These haven't been doctored in any kind of way. So actually at our 4th, 5th and 6th countries where most people come from is Kenya, India and Thailand. And this is something that does lie very close to our aims, is to try and outreach not just to Europe or to North America, but also to low-income countries as well. So the fact that, you know, Kenya is the 4th most visited country is something that's really significant for us. So we're very happy to see those 3 countries there. And with that, I thank you for your attention, and I wish you an enjoyable rest of the day. Thank you very much.